more than 100 years. The magician enters and examines this empty four-legged wooden frame. From the round top, he lowers a chain. Next, his beautiful assistants wheel in a clothing rack filled with costumes, though most of their wardrobe could probably fit in a coin purse. One of his assistants makes a selection, a suitably seductive two-piece number and a pair of heels. The magician now hangs the costume from the chain as his assistants bring in a large hooded cloak. Kind of an extreme contrast in clothing, but whatever. I'm sure it's part of his plan. As they attach the cloak to the frame, a ghostly mannequin head is introduced. Creepy. Once the cloak is in place, the magician sets the head on top of the frame. The cloak's hood is pulled up and over the head, and the assistants spin the entire frame. How about that? The mannequin has transformed into another beautiful girl, dressed in a sexy two-piece. That's one way to find a date for a Saturday night. But there's a secret to how he did it. So, how did the magician use an empty frame, a sexy costume, a large cloak, and a mannequin head to create a beautiful assistant? The secrets are incredibly simple. As the assistants wheel in the clothing rack, the girl who will materialize secretly sneaks in, hidden by the costumes. While the magician is busy hanging the sexy outfit on the chain, his assistants prepare to bring him the large cloak. They hold it open so that it will hide the girl's path from behind the wardrobe rack to her next hiding spot, behind the frame. Once the assistants out front have closed the front of the cloak, the girl can slip inside the frame unnoticed. But what about the costume the magician hung inside the frame? The hollow base of this unit is constructed with flexible rubber pockets to hide the clothes. As the two assistants are adjusting the cloak, the girl inside is busy hiding the duplicate costume and shoes in the hollow base. The mannequin head is placed on the frame and the hood is pulled into position. The hood secretly contains a wire frame which allows it to hold its shape when the girl inside removes the head. From the side, you can see the head removed, while the hood stays upright. The girl quickly hides the head in a secret pocket sewn into the cloak, then hides a wooden plug in the base, leaving a space for her to stand up for her glamorous appearance. The two assistants quickly remove the cloak with its gimmicked hood and secret pocket, and all attention focuses on the appearance of the lovely lady. Once again, the women do all the work, and the magician gets all the glory.
Up next, things get gory when the magician reveals the penetrating secret to impaling human flesh. And then, a 5-ton elephant magically appears from nowhere while surrounded by a crowd of witnesses.
The magician will now attempt a dangerous trick that's not for the faint of heart or stomach. If you have an aversion to the sight of scary tricks, now's the time to look away. Or watch, if you dare. He's about to give himself a trendy body piercing the hard way. By the way, don't try this one at home. With his sleeve rolled up, the magician takes a long, stainless steel needle and jams it through his forearm. It's slow going, but he forces it through the flesh and muscle. I told you this was going to be upsetting, and it's about to get even gorier. The magician begins to withdraw the needle, and sure enough, he lets loose a small gusher of blood. I keep reminding myself that this is just a trick. He'd better pull it out before he gets weak in the knees. I know I am. There it is. He's a braver man than I, and I keep reminding myself that it's just an illusion. So how did the magician thrust the needle through his forearm and draw blood without inflicting serious injury. Rest assured, this is just an illusion, and the blood is all part of the gag. The secret is in this ordinary bottle of rubber cement. Before the trick begins, the magician takes a healthy dose of the clear cement and applies it to his forearm. He's careful to get complete coverage on his skin. When the cement dries, it will be impossible to detect. Now when the magician appears to plunge the needle into his arm, he's merely pressing it against his skin. He struggles a bit to make the illusion more convincing. Once the needle appears to be completely inserted into his arm, he pinches his skin around the steel. The rubber cement causes the skin to stick to itself. The effect is pretty gruesome, but not grisly enough for our masked man. He wants us to see blood. That's where a trick needle comes in handy. It's secretly hollow, and the knob on the end is really a rubber bulb that contains fake stage blood. The magician uses the needle like a turkey baster, squeezing it to suck up the fake blood into the rubber bulb, then squirting it out when the time is right for maximum horror. Squeezing the bulb lightly is enough to force the fake blood out of a tiny hole in the hollow steel tube. All he has to do now is withdraw the needle from the glued folds of his skin, and for this next illusion, the magician has assembled a group of volunteers to witness the magic. This one will be performed in a completely empty parking lot in broad daylight to eliminate any possibility of trapdoors, secret panels, mirrors, or other stage trickery. He arranges the witnesses in a circle around two large sheets. Like the Pied Piper, they follow him and do exactly what he says, taking their positions in a circle, completely surrounding the sheets. As we walk with him, we can see that the area around the circle of witnesses is completely clear and free from boxes, trucks, or other foreign objects. Except for the witnesses, the assistants, and the camera crew, no one is allowed in this secured lot. Now that the magician is pleased with the placement of his spectators and satisfied that we have seen 360 degrees, he's ready to make some magic. He gives some instructions to his assistants, commanding them to raise the larger of the two sheets. We can see that aside from some long poles that are sewn inside to hold it upright, the sheet does not appear to be gimmicked in any way. We continue our walk with the magician, seeing exactly what the witnesses see. Nothing unusual here, other than a man in a red shirt and a scary black mask. We've now walked to the other side of the sheet. There's nothing extraordinary to report here. The magician commands his assistants to bring in the sides of the sheet, forming a large three-sided box. Now to close it up. He commands the smaller sheet to be raised to form the front of the box. Not much of a trick, but there it is, a big fabric box in the middle of a parking lot. Maybe he's not done. He tells his assistants to hang on firmly to the large sheets as they battle the wind. This is the high cost of doing a trick outside. One final command for the TV audience to keep our eyes on the box, and the magician prepares to reveal the results of his conjuring. Let's watch. What do you know? A 5-ton elephant. Where did he come from? He was definitely not on the witness list. The girls are impressed. Maybe the masked magician can do real magic after all. So how does the magician make the elephant appear from nowhere in the middle of the lot while encircled by spectators? It sounds impossible. It is. Here are the secrets. First off, let's start with the group of spectators. The secret here is they're all in on the trick. The magician has no trouble positioning them in a circle since they've been rehearsed. This 360-degree walk is designed to convince us that the parking lot is empty and free of wandering elephants. Next, the large sheet is raised. Again, we can see the surrounding parking lot appears empty, but appearances are deceiving. We know he had to be hiding somewhere in this vast, seemingly empty lot. But where? We've been looking at his hiding place the entire time. Don't you remember seeing it? You did. Constructed near a group of trees by the edge of the lot is a painted Hollywood backdrop and some fake trees. This is the elephant's hiding place. Sound far-fetched? It's true. And chances are, it fooled you. Even though this looks like a setup that a cartoon roadrunner might use to trick a wily coyote, it's actually an effective hiding place for the elephant and his trainer. No one would ever expect a real pachyderm could be stashed away behind some phony trees in the middle of a parking lot, completely undetected. But the farther away the camera travels, the more deceptive the phony setup looks. See it now? When you know it's there, it's much easier to spot. The trick is that you didn't see it the first time because you didn't know where to look. This continuous camera angle from the illusion is low and only shows the front side of the sheet. The trick only works from this perspective because as the sheet is raised, the elephant begins to approach from the rear. From this high angle, you can see the elephant walking toward the sheet as the fabric box is being constructed. From this low angle, the sheet is blocking the approaching elephant. The paid witnesses step aside to allow the elephant and his trainers some room to sneak through the circle. From the low angle in front, there's no sign of the elephant. Two stagehands who are dressed like spectators tear open the back of the fabric box and the elephant walks inside. The sheet is held together with long Velcro strips. As soon as the elephant is inside, the Velcro is quickly resealed. When the front sheet is lowered, it looks as though the elephant has appeared from out of the blue. And that's the secret to making an elephant appear from nowhere.
Next time, the Masked Magician returns to reveal more of magic's biggest secrets.
Next, and throughout the night here on ITV4, join Will and Dr. Magnus as their journey to save the planet continues. Back-to-back episodes of the first series of Sanctuary are on the way.